Hi, I'm Tony Fleming, and this is Fleming's Ultimate Garage. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on today's spectacular video, man. Listen, this car has so much going on. It is so fresh. It has 2 full window stickers. So if you came here to the showroom, right, this would be across the windshield or go down. There's a lot going on, so I apologize. I won't be able to remember everything about everything on this car, so I may have to refer to this once in a while, but you'll appreciate the fact that I am. So hear me out for a second. When you take a car apart and you put it back together, that right there is $25,000. We've already spent $25,000 and we haven't even bought a car yet. Now we buy a car that's decent enough to restore. You don't want to buy a car that's a rust bucket. So let's say you find a nice Mustang Fastback for $15,000 that needs to be restored. Now we're at $40,000, right? You know what? You say, I love the old school wheels, but I want this car to handle. So give me some, instead of 15-inch wheels with the big tall tires, 17 inches with some low profiles on here. These are custom-made Billet, 2-piece replicas of the like the Magnum 500 rim made by American Racing. They're pretty expensive. Look them up. I think you can spend somewhere around $3 grand for a full set of wheels and tires. All right. Power disc brakes in here. All right. And on top of it, this car is so sneaky fast. It's a blown 302. All right. We're going to look under the hood. It's actually a little bit quiet. So the one thing I might think about is ask your salesman if he'll do this. Sorry, your sales enthusiast, if he'll do this for you, is have exhaust cutouts put in the car. Because exhaust cutouts are vacuum operated or electric, and you just flip a switch, it opens the exhaust, and this thing would sound spectacular. But I have rambled on for a second past the most important part. I get teased everywhere I go around the country. Hey, show us the paint, show us the paint. I think that's great, man. The fact that everybody loves that, or they make fun of me, means that they're making fun of me when at least they're talking about me, right? All right, so come on up here. I want you to see this. This is sick. This is how you know somebody spent a lot of time wet sanding, buffing, clearing, and doing all the things to make it. Look at that. It is crystal clear. You can see what time it is. Here's the other side of the sticker. All right, and this is an awesome touch. This is a matte black stripe, so it's really kind of subtle. If you want to, the cool thing about the stripes is they're decals. They can come off, or we can change it to a different color if you want, or we can leave them just as it is because I think the car looks great. All right, so some front and rear spoilers, the billet style grille. Check out these headlights, man. They are super bad A. We can put a front tag bracket on it if you want to. It has a great mug. I didn't want to do that. And we do have a new piece of molding for that. We just did this in the showroom, so I apologize, but I'll have a new piece on it by the time you get it, all right? I know it's, the eagle eyes out there, someone picked that up, and I'm gonna get crucified, but don't crucify me. All right, so come on here, and let's do this for a second. I want you to look down this car. Look at this paint and things like that. Look at this. That is sexy. It is so ridiculously beautiful, the gaps and the fit, and the way everything comes down like this. The rear wing ties everything in, and then this tail panel's finished off with the old school taillights, but nothing here. If you wanted to, we could put a Boss 302 stripe here, Boss 302 call out. We could get modern Boss emblems for the car. So that's the cool thing about getting a car like this that's already a little bit freestyle, is you can change anything you like, or you can leave it just the way it is. I think it looks great either way. That's your call. Sounds wonderful too. All right, let's take a peek under here. All right, we just washed some cars here, so that's just water underneath. But I wanted you to see how clean and detailed everything is underneath here. You need to spend a second to look underneath because everything there is detailed and done. It's not spray bombed black. The suspensions are all different color pieces. This has a big Ford 9-inch rear in it. Right, this thing is set to do serious business. It's been lowered 2 inches as well, so there's this great stance. I mean, it's a sexy looking car. And I am, again, like, just to give you an idea of how low it is, here's me standing up now. The trunk lid is coming to here. To give you an idea that this car is really, really cool. All right, so I've talked about how great looking it is. You already see how great looking it is. Let's do this. Let's go under the hood and see what all the fuss is about. Okay, wow. Danny, come around here for a second because I want everybody to see how beautiful and detailed everything is. From this is typically painted black, so that means you have to take the paint off and have it professionally polished, which is done, okay? Polished billet valve covers, ceramic coated exhaust, polished pulleys throughout here, and this is a Paxton Supercharger, but this is the SQ version, so it's super quiet. So when I fire up the car, you can barely hear it, and it's nice because it makes the car super sneaky. Back it up with a big 5-speed in it and the 9-inch, and you got some serious power. Power disc brakes, power steering, okay? A lot of things that people forget to ask about. tubular control arms, okay? This no longer has the steering box like old school. This has rack and pinion steering in it like a modern car would have. So you get the low profile tires and the big wheels, the fast ratio power steering in here, a lot of power under the hood, and then you have a recipe for some really cool stuff. What I wanted to show you also was, first off, look how ridiculously big the radiator is. It doesn't even fit in the normal hole that the car would have come with originally, which I really like. And it has one giant fan right here pushing through, making sure that everything stays nice and cold. And the reason why that's important to me is I like to go to a car show or go for a cruise or something like that. The last thing I want to do is sit in traffic in my cool car and it overheats. And once it overheats, it takes forever to get them started. As you know, sometimes it can take 15 or 20 minutes for them to cool down enough to be willing to get back in the game and go out. This prevents all of that from happening. It has a billet overflow to catch anything that might come out of the radiator. And it's just nicely detailed and done, and it's so simple and good looking. I don't know, I just get excited about it because you can see the effort. We do this every day here, and if you just added up some of this stuff from the Rack and Pinion, just the drivetrain alone is probably in the $20,000 range. We talked about, you know, the rotisserie restoration and the paint and the car, and that was at 40. We're already at 65,000. We haven't done interior, brakes, tires, wiring, none of those things. So that's pretty cool when you think about it. All right, so come check this out. Little stuff like this, like a completely done, look how nicely done the trunk is here. All done in black as well, okay? Filler right here for gas. Gas tank's right in here. This hole has been filled, which would normally have the gas filler there, all right? It makes it so simple and so sleek, and people look at it and go, wow, why is that car so different? Well, the reason it's so different is because somebody put probably 2 days into fixing this panel right here, welding in that spot. Another 2,000 doing the trunk in these cool panels that are removable, right? Custom made fuel cell as well. I mean, just on and on. New chrome, new stainless, taillight lenses, taillight bulbs, wiring to those bulbs. You can see why it can take 2 and 3 years to build a car. All right, so let's get inside here because you know what? This is where you're gonna spend your time, inside here, checking stuff out. So there's one cool thing that you may or may not notice, and here is a roll cage built in. They make it so that it's easy entry and exit. So you got this nice thing here if you wanted to take this car to a track, because it could easily drive well on the track because of the power, the rack and pinion, and the suspension and things, you could do that. Full console like this, Pioneer digital sound system with Polk audio speakers everywhere, all throughout, amps, crossovers, all that good stuff. I know the stereo is important because it's really important to me, but I don't want to spend a lot of time on it because you can look that stuff up. I like to talk about all the guts of this car because where it is all the effort that it took individually to get that. White face gauges, upgraded there. 3-spoke billet specialties, billet wheel, and leather wrapped on the front, so they call that a half wrap, right? Cool 5-speed shift knob, all right? Place to plug the seat belts in if you want to. Just bad car. So anyway, I want to fire it up for you because really what you care about is what it sounds like. All right, so let's close up the video. Listen, we have 2 full pages of stuff to go over real quick, and I don't want to wear you out. But the paint on this car is spectacular. I showed you that already. The custom interior, even down to the Boss 302 floor mats, they're beautiful. The custom 17-inch wheels that go there as well, all right? But this car has some things you don't see, like the 5-speed we talked about, but what's cool about that is this has a 355 rear, which is positive traction, or what we call in Ford traction lock, right? All the power to the ground, but also you click it into 5th gear and you could just cruise on the highway to the beach at 75 miles an hour. Of course, that's not speeding, I hope. Anyway, the 5th gear, and it loafs along and loves every minute of it. The big radiator so it stays nice and cool. And we're talking probably 450 is what they're talking about horsepower, is what the owner said to us, right? It may be even more. I'm just gonna say a nice low number like that, but it just sounds great and pulls so strong, and it's just easy to drive. I don't know why I get so excited about it, but that's really some of the things of it. And I just wanted to go to the Flowmaster dual exhaust, the billet wheel, the roll bar that's in there, you know what I mean? So this is a beautiful reproduction of the world's greatest car, and it's also one of the world's greatest cars to start with, but it's also one of the world's greatest pro touring cars. So if you can find a way to get one bad car that you're not gonna see at another car show, right? Call us, 301-816-1000. We'll tell you all about this Boss 302.